Welcome everyone to the Panel Pals Spider-Man the Animated Series Watchalong. It is episode 3, but today we're looking at episode 4. It is the Mysterio episode, one of our favorite Spider-Man foes of all time. I'm your co-host, MN Stash.
And I'm Skull Ryan.
And Mr. Skull Ryan, I hear that you have a synopsis for us ready to go about the episode.
I do indeed. Now, if you don't know, this... right... Spider-Man, from the other episodes we've watched, has been framed for a crime he did not commit. And now he's got a bounty hunting superhero on his tail. The magnificent Mysterio. But Mysterio isn't as altruistic as he seems. An event from Peter's past might hold the key to the truth behind the fishbowl.
God damn, that was good. So, what did you think of the episode?
Well, mate, Mysterio overall, pretty good, because Mysterio, he's probably my second favourite Spider-Man villain of all time. So it's always fun when he rolls up. It's sick. And even though in this, they did what the MCU does and added random lines, but it was fine. What did you think?
I think it was more of a serious episode than what we've gotten before. There was less jokes. I noticed that one.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was probably the strongest. I don't know if it was maybe just everyone was getting a bit more settled in with making the show, or if the villain was just better because fuck Spider Slayers.
So it wasn't a robot yet. This is the first villain you can banter with, not including the legendary Spencer Smythe. Because the lizard just growls and the Spider Slayers just wear
machinery.
Yeah.
They just bizz and buzz.
It's funny you say you think this was a good, well-made episode, because I remember reading there was a bit of writer's room controversy with this episode. Now, if I'm remembering right, I believe this one's script got written in a few hours before they were meant to start work on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't feel like it.
Because I thought, to be fair, a lot of it is lifted from Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. I had a note of that. Wasn't the bridge fight?
Yeah, the bridge fight and the whole beginning bit of Spider-Man, like robbing the museum, was very similar to the book
as well. But
it isn't.
Even with the writers, I thought it was interesting where if you look at the credits, it was co-written by Marv Wolfman.
I have that in my notes too, mate. Marv himself, he's took a break from banging Donna Troy to come
Fucking, what was his name? Was it Terry?
Terry Long, mate. Yes.
Hold on, Donna. I have business to attend to.
Get off, babe.
No,
I've got to write. I don't know.
No, Terry,
he has his wife call him Terry.
Makes him wear a fucking Wonder Girl costume. It's like,
nice.
You're 18 and I'm 35 and a professor. You're 18 and I'm 35 and a professor. It's like, she just like what the fuck's happening?
Get the lasso.
Make me tell the truth.
I couldn't believe when it came up Marv Wolfman. I was like, no way.
No wonder they're like, okay, we need something done in 2 hours. Who can we get? They'll make it good.
Get Marv Wolfman. Hell yeah.
Marv Wolfman, this was like the first episode that did the origin story.
Yeah, that was a weird pick, wasn't it? Mysterio, of all people, gets the origin episode.
Just that good.
He is behind
you could probably tell,
inside his life.
It's probably how you could tell it was made in 2 hours. Because it's like, okay, how do we stretch this out in the origin story?
It's already basically all issue 14, 13, whatever one it was. But just to add time, they also chuck in Amazing Fantasy 15 for you.
Yeah, even what's with like them changing people to like long blonde hair. The fucking
Yeah,
burglar and Mysterio look the same.
they were very similar. And Mysterio didn't have his bowl cut.
No, he had
And
a
he was
receding
actually,
ponytail.
he was shredded as usual with this cartoon. They're all huge.
I'll wait till the bloody late 90s, mate, when he gets cancer and fights Daredevil. He won't be so
Oh.
big then.
There
Could you
was
imagine if they adapted that? And just steal from Craven's.
yeah. There's no like it's still called Spider-Man the Animated Series, but it's just about Daredevil now. Speaking of Daredevil, when Peter hears of the crisis at the mall from the buff dude with the radio, I think that buff dude just may have been Micah Sin. His clothes are tatty and ragged, and he's buff as hell.
He's buff as hell, yeah. He's fucking massive. I bet his
Micah
diet
Sin
is
cameo.
shit. His diet is shit. What? Oh no, maybe the boombox or the radio was so he could throw Daredevil off his trail, so his radar sense couldn't
They
pick
can't
up
hear
on
him. Oh
so
my
he's
god!
Like, where's that ghastly fiend gone? He shagged Foggy's wife. I need to end this now.
Like in the trial of the Incredible Hulk, where Daredevil gets taken down by stereos. The Kingpin's men turn on the radio, and Daredevil goes, "Ah!"
Do you think it's a bit funny how Marv Wolfman, who's notorious for being a bit horny, comes in, and then we have that MJ scene?
Yeah, the very first MJ scene is in yoga pants having a good stretch.
Yeah, I mean,
so
it was fun to watch, but like it was like, yeah,
kids cartoon, yeah.
Yeah, no, he can't punch, but we can get her in doggy. That's fine.
No punching.
God forbid.
Camel toes. Here we are.
Take it or leave it, buddy. But you can punch the spot. We'll allow that one. That's okay.
And he fucking doesn't he punch himself through him or he misses?
Yeah. What an idiot. But, I mean, it is pretty interesting how that scene as well, like, it tells you everything you need to know about Peter and MJ in like the span of 5 seconds.
Yeah, she rings up and she's like, "I need help with my homework," and he's like,
"Yeah,
woohoo!"
She would have heard the fucking. He's like, oh, he puts the phone away. She wouldn't have heard him scream woohoo and jumps onto the ceiling fan.
Good
who's gonna
fixture on that ceiling fan? How didn't that come down?
Who's gonna pay for it? In the first episode, it was an Aunt May struggling to pay the bills, and now she has to buy a new ceiling fan for Peter because he
just
ripped it out of the ceiling. He might as well just gun her down at this point.
And Anna was right. This kid is a piece of shit. Don't want to be a
spying through the window.
Why do we need the chameleon when we've got Mysterio? He's already proved he can disguise himself as Spider-Man just as flawlessly.
And the thing was, it wasn't like someone else, or it wasn't an illusion. Like, it was him. He had suction cups on his boots, and he's
it wasn't a hologram.
Well, he is shredded, so it's like, makes sense.
Is that why he's shredded, Jack, and he's in prison getting buff for revenge on Spider-Man? He's like,
mate, it was pretty weak though. Didn't he get pissy at Spidey because he went to jail for 1 year?
Yeah, which that they added in from the comic, didn't they? Like, that wasn't in the comic. In the comic, you just decide Spider-Man looks like an easy target. Let's get him. Wow. Back here, Spidey in the past, as referenced in the synopsis, Spider-Man's already had Quentin Beck sent to jail for reckless endangerment. It's a bit like getting a speeding ticket and swearing revenge.
It's a bit like he's pissy because he committed a crime and he got in trouble for committing a crime. It's not really. It's just a bit,
Yeah, maybe don't plant live explosives in the workplace if you don't want to get shit for
and
planting
on a
live
fucking
explosives.
bridge too, mate. It's like on a bridge. Why you...
Imagine having to go to work in New York from like wherever that bridge is linked to, I assume New Jersey. And you get told, sorry mate, we're filming a shit helicopter action movie. Go the long way. Be like, what?
I love when it's like that one meme where it's like finishing a 9 to 5 and seeing the Hulk throw my car and miss.
And miss, yeah. When I've actually got, while I'm on the subject, like with them shutting shit down to film, the Robert Pattinson Batman film got filmed near me in one of the churches, and that didn't stop my traffic flow.
That's cool. I would have stalked it. I was trying to get a glimpse of Robert
Pattinson. I went and had a look. I didn't see Robert Pattinson, but I saw like they boxed it off, if you know what I mean, with fake fences and that, because you know it's Gotham, it's a shithole. I think it's the bit where he grapples up the tower. You know what I mean? He's running from the busies. It might be the one gliding scene in the whole film.
Oh, in the department, the police department.
Yeah, where he's escaping and like he jabs like adrenaline in him or something and starts gliding off the top.
The adrenaline thing was at the end with the Riddler goon, but in this one, I think the scene you're talking about was he grapples up and then they're all chasing him, and then he's like scared of heights, but then he rips his suit and the squirrel suit comes out and he just glides, and he fucking tanks it.
It's the freaking flying squirrel.
His fucking parachute gets caught on the bridge.
Yeah.
Smacks head first. I love how he just hobbles away as well. Then the next scene is him standing there cold as fuck, like, "Hey, Gordon." You know what I found interesting?
Yeah.
Like, if you're watching these in order, you would think that Mysterio is Eddie Brock. You would actually think that?
If you've read the comics, you see the fucking buff blonde dude.
If you've like just watched the first 4 episodes, because it's like, it's someone from his past and he wants revenge for ruining his life. And for the last 3 episodes, it's like Eddie Brock's been like, "Spider-Man, you're ruining my life." And
you're right, yeah. And then he's just nowhere to be seen in this one.
It's like, no, he would have made fucking perfect sense to be Mysterio.
That's incredible, yeah.
What a fake fan from the writer's room if they did that.
Oh, mate, imagine that twist. That's like fucking when they keep making Harry Osborn Venom, they start making Eddie Brock Mysterio. Swap him around. I think the 2014, the crap Marvel Spider-Man show where it looks drawn and animated like shit.
The 2017 one.
Adrian Toomes as the Hobgoblin or something. Yeah, the 2017 one.
It was clearly trying to bank off Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, by making Vulture a threat.
And they had that like tech suit, and even Spider-Man's homemade suit was the jumpsuit almost
thing.
Yeah, it's dog shit. And Horizon Labs.
Horizon High, mate.
Out of all the things you could take from the comic books, Horizon Labs with the
the writers out there, mate. You could have done Stan Lee. You could have done Roy Tom. You know, you take Dan Slott's ideas and make a cartoon based wholly on them. Maybe that's why this episode was so good, because it was genuinely just a classic Stan Lee Spider-Man story put on the telly. Like we've mentioned before, why don't they just take the issues and put them on the telly instead of giving us shit like...
It's right there. It wouldn't be hard. You don't have to write the story. You got the storyboard, right?
It's fucking...
Flip the pages of the book. Yeah, imagine Christopher Daniel Barnes doing some of those stories.
Right.
Imagine like Spectacular Spider-Man issue 2, like the magazine one with Green Goblin. Imagine that story with like Christopher Daniel Barnes and like the Spectacular Spider-Man Green Goblin. I love the Norman voice from that show from Spectacular.
Yeah. With the contrast when he goes Goblin and you're like, that's the same dude. Like he is just playing a game when he's the Goblin.
Harry sounds the same as well.
Yeah.
I'm using like a Ben Affleck modifier in his voice. Did you think, when he finds the webbing, and the webbing's clearly not his,
Yeah,
Lieutenant Lee would have seen him jump off the wall and land perfectly?
absolutely.
Because when he lands, she's already turned around saying, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And she's like,
Do you
"Did you
reckon
not?"
she knows?
Oh, is it like a Captain Stacy
Like
from
a Gordon
Spectacular
thing?
Spider?
Like, I was like we say, what's her name? Terry Lee. It's kind of like his Captain Stacy / Jim Gordon. She's like Spidey's friend on the Force.
Yeah, and then even the way she was like his moral compass within the episode.
Yeah, she's who convinces him to come back and give it
Hey,
another
she
go in
roasted the
this.
shit out of him though.
Oh, I know, yeah,
When
mate.
she's like,
Oh,
"You
them
take all those
photos he
photos."
took.
No,
Thought
he's
some of his
like,
character would have rubbed off
could
on
have
you.
rubbed off on you.
Rinsed.
He
Did you
even
notice
just
how they
he accepted
dodge?
it.
Yeah, he's like, fair play, Chris. And we got the origin, mate. That Terry Lee spared the first origin retelling of the animated series. Did you notice how they dodged mentioning corpse or death? I thought Spider-Man was
No,
fish
no, it's
food.
okay.
She was no corpus
Go back to the camel toe.
delecti.
It's fine. It's fine. We can't have someone getting shot in an origin story. If the Comics Code Authority could approve it, mate, so could your show. Christ,
Oh,
what, they're so against good storytelling.
it's so stupid because on the same network on Fox Kids, we found out later, they can't use the word sinister because that's too nasty of a word. So the coalition of spider foes is instead named the Insidious Six. Even though X-Men, the animated series, which came out before this but was on Fox Kids just the same, has Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Insidious wreaks havoc upon the mutant nation.
They've got a character who's got knives for fists. But Spider-Man can't
poor
punch a dude.
Wolverine he was so like censored as well. I hate in that show when Wolverine will be like, "I'm gonna turn you into shish kebab," and then he gets like thrown into a building and he's like, "Okay, done. That's it. He's not fighting." Did you think it was interesting where like just the way they sort of depicted Mysterio's first appearance, like the first scene?
His first scene where he like makes a big show.
Yeah, and he like waves at the camera. Then Aunt May's like, "Why would anyone like Spider-Man?" It's like, he saved you in the last episode, you ungrateful old bag.
Oh yeah, mate. That winds me up in this show. They're like, I don't think Aunt May ever. I know she never finds out, but she never lets up on hating Spider-Man either.
Yeah, but I know in the comics the Silver Age she did, I think.
Yeah,
She'd always had the
mellows
fear
out
of
a bit.
him.
Isn't it revealed at one point that she kind of knew the whole time, and the reason she hated Spider-Man is because subconsciously she knew that if Spider-Man was doing something, Peter could get hurt, because deep down she knew it was Peter.
Well, I think
bullshit.
maybe in issue 400, didn't she say like, "I know"?
Oh yeah, the Empire State
But that was the actress.
Good fucking actress, mate. You know that actress's soul comes back, and still, even though she's not getting paid, she still puts on the show.
Dedicated to her craft.
Always when Peter's dying in it, mate. He's like, Aunt May's ghost appears to him, and it is literally Aunt May's ghost. It's not a Mysterio thing. And this, when you find out she's still alive, it's so stupid.
I hate the way they tease, like, "Come get May." And he's like, "Oh, it could be our daughter."
Yeah, our daughter, May.
It's funny when Mary Jane's like, "Don't go there. Like, don't." And then he's like, "Well, I have to." And she's like, "It's a game, Peter." And it's like, well, if he didn't go there, Aunt May would have probably just died anyway.
No, she's up and like wander in the mansion, isn't she? Because she clocks him with a vase. That awful Spider-Man is back.
Yeah, because she's so stupid.
What if she'd have just left? Like if Peter didn't go, he's like, "You're right, I'm not playing Osborn's games anymore." And Aunt May just knocks on the door.
Pissed It's like when Spider-Man in like around in the Silver Age, when Doc Ock's on the ground and she's got a gun and she's like, "You get away from him." And she's like,
My
"Actually gonna
husband.
shoot my one true love, Otto Octavius."
I didn't think I could love again after Ben. You showed me the way.
I love how he always has a soft spot for May as well.
Yeah. Imagine if the message was come and get Ben, and he's like, oh my god, my clone brother Ben Riley's still alive. It's fucking Uncle Ben the whole time.
Yeah, he was secretly like a Russian agent.
Just like his brother.
Yeah.
His parents.
You don't want to tell you like this, Peter.
Dos Vidania.
You know, I'd be pretty pissed, minus the fact of Aunt May just constantly shitting on me if I was Spider-Man. But I'd be pissed too with the way Mysterio ruined his reputation, like in the space of, was it a day? In one day?
Yeah, one crime is all it took. Do you reckon that guy who, in episode 1, where Peter saves him from the car going mad at the very start, and he's like, those eyes, the lizard eyes. Do you reckon he's like watching the telly, he's like, no, Spider-Man's cool. He wouldn't do this.
He's a hero. He's like fucking Robbie Robertson in Spider-Man was a 1.
Yeah. They're interviewing people on the street, Alistair Spike. He stinks, and I don't like it.
You got that one woman just going, Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Is this why Jonah gets involved at the end? Because they send Jonah a fax, don't they?
Yeah.
Saying because at Wonder Studios.
Well, that's a throwback.
Yeah, Christ.
Wonder Studios. Is that perhaps linked to Wonder Tower? Is Hugo Strange behind it all?
No way, mate. Big Hugh, he's boss.
If you're new to the panel pals, DC and Marvel are no such thing. It's just one huge universe.
Yeah, it's just comics, mate.
Skip Westcott's everyone at this point.
Skip Westcott, Robin.
What do you think Skip was doing in this episode?
Biding his time, mate, plotting and planning. How old's Peter in this?
What?
17.
He doesn't look 17.
He doesn't look 17, he looks 27. What?
Do you think Skip was secretly Mysterio, but then he swaps him out with Quentin Beck at the end?
Beck's just
like
his
getaway. Yes. None can compare to Skip Westcott. There was a scene in this episode where it was like it's a Spider-Man 3 game where it was like, and don't call back. All this work and nothing.
Mary Jane rings. He goes, what?
At the start though, when he's watching the TV, he's like gas bag, and he turns off the TV because of Jameson.
Yeah, he's livid.
What? She's like, easy there.
Like throwing away the suit. Whoa.
He actually quit as well. Like he full on quit being Spider-Man.
Yeah, for like 10 minutes, but still he was like fully willing to just pack it in before Terry Lee give a knock on the door.
It's a weird thing though about the pacing of these episodes are just all over the place.
Yeah, they're trying to fit in that dialogue.
Well, the starts it's pretty slow, and then from the midpoint onwards, it's just really fast. Like they never linger on a scene. There's no impact half the time because it's like Spider-Man looking at his Uncle Ben's killer, then quickly fade back to the present time, then quickly to him meeting up with Lieutenant Lee, who, by the way, would have crashed and died, considering the fact he blocks half her vision when she's driving.
Yeah.
Gives her a fight, blocks her fucking windshield. Hi. She's calm about it. She's like,
sometimes I think the scene starts transitioning before the dialogue is even finished. It's that quick.
Yeah, they're clearly like just trying to fit everything they could in 20 minutes, but it's weird because the X-Men show, like we said with the guidelines and restrictions, their pacing was way better. The story. I mean, their stories, they took more effort with them. That's
just because it's like part 1 of 8 every new Buddy episode.
but they'll do stories of the comic books all the time.
Yeah, I remember the
Like,
Savage Land one where they lose all the powers. That one was
but the
sick.
thing though is, the Spidey show adapts the comics, but then does their own thing. Whereas the X-Men show is more almost one for one with the books. Like, especially the Dark Phoenix saga, minus like the characters who they don't have in the team. A lot of it is literally
Justice
panel
for
for panel.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I know, right? Why was he just restricted to two? I mean, he had two incredible episodes, but it's
Does
like I want him in
Colossus
the
even
thing.
appear?
He had one episode, I think,
Oh,
in season 1.
oh,
But
and then never. I remember
I do
X-Force
like,
turning up with Iceman as well.
and then like
Original X-Men Iceman.
Cyclops didn't know about like his brothers with Havoc.
Yeah, and they're just blasting each other and like, oh, it's not working. Weird.
I did find it really enjoyable in X-Men 97, the fact that Nightcrawler was actually a part of the team.
Oh, is he?
Oh yeah, he's
I
like
still not watched it.
Oh, it's worth it. I mean,
Yeah, I do intend to.
I had one comment on my why I love
Ooh.
X-Men 97 video. He's like, why you love X-Men 97? It is because you're a homosexual, and he said it in all capitals.
No way.
Yeah, that's what he said. I was like, oh, fair enough. I was like, I never once like talk about anything to do with like that sort of thing on my channel.
Yeah.
And
Why
this guy's
open
going
that box of Pandora's box of it, and he's just calling you gay for like an X-Men.
Yeah, do I have to like mention like, oh no, I've been with women. I swear. No, but in the eyes of that, I'm Skip. I'm Skip Westcott. You call me.
That's why you collect the Spidey magazine, mate, to do the poses.
Did you think it was cool that in the show they basically showed off that Mysterio planned everything? Like when he goes to his hideout, he has like the blueprints for the bridge, for the museum, and he has all the devices ready to go.
That was wild. It wasn't like stage magic or like puppetry, because in the comics he hasn't got this magical hologram cube. He just like puts in the effort and sets the stage for his grand crimes. But this one just programs holograms and flicks in the cube.
Well, it's like Far From Home, isn't it? Far From Home copied Spectacular Spider-Man and animated series.
Well, if
because
you
they had the more like the device thing.
Yeah, there's drones. Didn't he never doing it?
And then he had the blindfold scene where he closes his eyes and he can't see and has to trust his spider sense. But I mean, like the sad part was that movie was just shit.
Oh, it was god awful, mate. And as we said, we love Mysterio.
Yeah, and then he's just an Iron Man villain. What was with that?
Why are they all Iron Man villains? Electro comes from a different universe and steals Stark tech.
Doc Ock gets an upgrade because of Spider-Man using his suit the nanotech to go into his tentacles.
There's a bit later in this cartoon when he's summoning heroes to his aid. Spider-Man goes, I want my friend, Iron Man. And when I watched it, I was like, no, I can't complain about it anymore. The 90s Spider-Man likes Iron Man.
Wow. How can you call them? You can't even call them friends. Like they never interacted at all during the show.
Yeah, he helped them out once, and it was mostly War Machine doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah. Oh, typical. Yes, Iron Man takes the credit. The dirty little dog.
Oh, little bastard.
Well, I want to give you the honors for this one scene in the show of a Mysterio in his hideout. I think it's the greatest Skip Westcott.
Firstly, before we get to that, Spider-Man commits an actual crime during this scene because It's listed. He finds out where Mysterio's hideout is because he figures out he's Quentin Beck from a flashback, and it says his address is Wonder Studios. It's Quentin's home address, and to get in there, Spider-Man and the police and J. Jonah Jameson, without the warrant, break the door down and enter. That's a real crime. We framed him at the start, but now Spidey's committing real crimes. However,
He's a menace.
He busts into Mysterio's base, and Mysterio is sitting in the chair. His hand is under his cape around his thigh area, and his right hand is moving up and down in a repetitive motion, basically. And he kicks in the door, and it looks like Mysterio's having a wank.
And he goes right behind him too, just to have a look.
He charges at him. And
he doesn't like punch him or anything. He doesn't like do anything to stop him. He in fact spins his chair around so he can see him.
Get a better
like,
look.
What? Now this I gotta see.
Gets out the camera. He's like, Jonah will pay big bucks for this. Mate. And then so you kick the door in. And it looks like this dude's having a jolly time to himself. And Spider doesn't say nothing. He charges up for a better look, spins him, so he's in the splash zone. if he'd have come in a little bit later, he's lucky that it was actually just a decoy from Mysterio.
That dastardly fiend. Spider-Man's a peeping Tom.
That pervert, mate. Why do you think he's always sticking to people's walls and looking in the windows?
I'll tell you what, it's not adhesive. You think like Skip saw it? Like, I taught him well. Like Skip his stick. That's what he is. Skip his stick. He teaches Spider-Man the ways of the peeping Tom.
That bit in the PS1 game. Oh, sorry, lady. Didn't see a thing.
Yeah, Spider-Man saw everything. What if Venom was the real hero?
He is, mate. That Spider-Man raps him out too many times. He took his job, his apartment, his health.
My health. I love how every episode besides this one was just slowly building towards Venom.
Yeah. Well, what do you reckon he was doing during the events of the episode? Do you reckon he was watching the news? Be like, yes, vindication. They're starting to realize
should have had that. Why did they not have a scene of him like going, finally, he's got his due? And he's like, no, he does nothing. I was probably just doing like 1,000 push-ups.
He's already getting pumped anyway. Oh, he's coming.
I love that the fact
until Suit Saga.
Oh, sure. Maybe his life is so far in the gutter. It's like he's gonna leave him be
it's
for
not
now.
worth looking at, me. He's not in the Scorpion one, I don't think.
I don't think he's in the Doc Ock. But like, you know how Spidey gets the symbiote and he's still normal size?
Yeah.
And people fail to realize that the reason why like Venom is so massive is because Eddie Brock is massive.
Yeah.
So it's always weird when Harry gets the symbiote and he's like this giant sort of monster. It's like you'd be a twig.
Yeah, he'd be like a skinnier symbiote Spider-Man, would he? He shouldn't be huge.
That's the whole reason why he's like a 7-foot stalker is because of the fact that Eddie is massive.
Yeah. Because the suit is literally just...
It's so rough reading
a thin layer of slack, yeah. Trying to make sense of all this.
Even like when I've been rewatching Daredevil, I'm like, ever since reading, I'm almost done with all these comic books. It's like it doesn't hit the same anymore.
Now you know what it could have been.
Oh, like reading Foggy and Matt's friendship and then going to the show gives you whiplash. But the defenders of the show have hardly read the fucking comic books.
Ah, mate, the Defenders. Do you mean Luke
Oh,
Cage, Iron
Jessica Jones.
Fist?
It's just like
Princeton episode 1.
Spider-Man's a fake fan. He doesn't realize which Defenders he's talking about.
never seen the Defenders in the sewer. Maybe Iron Fist.
I can guarantee you that the Daredevil show Defenders won't even know who Gene Colan is.
Wally Wood, mate.
Because when you see them defended, it's like, and they're talking about their friendship and how well it's written. I'm like, it's really not.
The tricky thing is the synergy Marvel try and do, which is then the synergizing the shit stuff. After that Defenders come out. Yeah, after that, after the Netflix miniseries Defenders come out, suddenly there's a comic book called The Defenders starring Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage, written by Brian Michael Bendis.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier had a comic book roughly when their show released. Even what I think is interesting about the Daredevil books right now, I'm pretty sure him and Foggy aren't even on speaking terms. Which is basically like how they were for the show.
Yeah, they're meant to be like blood brothers, mate.
Yeah, you show one flashback. You have an episode dedicated to their friendship, and that's it. Whereas the comic books is like 60 years worth of friendship.
Yeah, and they've always got each other's backs.
Yeah, like even if they aren't on speaking terms back before the synergy in the show, Foggy will always go like, he's my best friend. Like, if I'm not gonna be there for him, who is? And they always sort of get back by the end of it to be friends again.
Yeah, as it should be.
Every time in that show I watch when like Matt's half dead, and then Foggy's like, if you weren't half dead, I'd kick your ass right now. Like, what the fuck would you do?
Try it, bitch.
Him right now would kick your ass. I also didn't like in that show that everyone felt like they had powers.
Yeah, they take some beating, don't they?
Yeah, everyone, even random henchmen or street thugs, could take about 500 hits to the face. I miss... Well, like, in the Daredevil movie, they demonstrated durability better than the show. An outlaw. Wasn't it like someone was crying in the paper or something, or speaking in the paper? And it's like, they always do. Aura, absolute aura.
Do you think the Daredevil movie had a more realistic, gritty tone than the Netflix series?
Well, the movie omitted the ninja part completely. They didn't even have stick.
Elektra just starts, doesn't she?
There's no stick. There's no. He just jumped around rooftops and is like, shit, I can fight crime now.
In the comics, like, Elektra goes, her dad gets killed when she's like a teenager, and then she goes for like a decade, a bit like Batman, I suppose. Goes for about a decade and gets shredded and gets the technique down. But in the Daredevil movie, her dad dies, and then she's like, wake me up.
Wake me up inside. They're also freaky in the comic books. Like, if you remember Man Without Fear, like the Frank Miller origin story, where they just start going at it, and then Foggy has to wait outside, and then he opens the door and Elektra walks out, and he's like, "What the fuck just happened?" I can't stand that, like, Elektra in the Daredevil show. I mean, no offense to the actress, but she's a twig.
Yeah. You're not believing.
Yeah, I'm to believe
she's gonna take anyone down.
A child version of her, who's smaller and skinnier, managed to managed to almost kill a full-grown, big man with her fist, and her fist was fine. Her fist would be broken after one punch to that guy's skull.
Yeah, no matter how perfectly you hit it, the bone's not gonna ignore that.
So stupid. She doesn't look like Elektra, and she never did in the show.
And she become a baddie by the Defenders.
Yeah, and her costume was a bit better in that one, but still, she doesn't look like Elektra to me.
But they built up Sigourney Weaver to be like, that's like a real actress. They built her all the way up, and then they just like kill her last second for this twist. Now Elektra's the villain. And if she couldn't take on, who did she die to? A random ninja in it. Shobu or something.
Yeah, they're fighting the hand, and like Nobu was there.
Nobu. And like, she couldn't take on Nobu, but now she's going to take on the Iron Fist.
The Defenders.
No, wait. Maybe the Defender one, yeah, I could take him. But in the comics, Iron Fist, mortal nemesis of Sabretooth.
I do like when Iron Fist like first sees Elektra in the show, and like she tries to stab him with the sword, but he uses his Iron Fist, and he just punches her through the wall. And they leave her there.
Yeah,
he's like, "Come on, no, finish her off."
I've only read the very first issue of Iron Fist, where he's like, it shows his parents in like the snow fighting a wolf or something. His origins, and it was sick. I need to get back into it.
Is that Marvel Premiere?
Yeah, like his very 15? First. Yeah.
What is it? I have it on my wall. Like, I'm trying to see what number it is.
Nice.
It's too dark in my room.
Where he's trying to find the heavenly city or whatever it is. But it's like interspersed with him doing kung fu. You're like, oh my god.
But even the cover,
yeah,
he's kicking one guy, and his Iron Fist is taking out about 3 others.
Hardcore,
and the colors pop as well, like the green on it, the yellow.
Yeah,
I'm just admiring it right now. I'm just looking at my wall.
I've typed in Iron Fist debut on Google, and the first one that's come up is him fighting Iron Man. That is not his first appearance, dude.
Iron Man tries to sue him.
Yeah.
You ever think that Skip Westcott went to Kunlun, so he's like, he can be the Iron Fist?
Iron Finger. Oh, Peter's bummates.
Danny Rand was like, what the fuck is this pedophile doing in my ancient civilization?
What I've just realised, technically Uncle Ben was in this episode, but he also really wasn't, because you don't actually see Ben outside of the photo, you just find out that he got killed.
Yeah.
At no point do you see Ben move, you don't see his body. So do we count this as Uncle Ben's debut, or would that be next time?
I mean, you can count it, I guess, because he's there, but it's like, hard because
in She-Hulk, the Disney Plus show, there's a article on their computer talking about Wolverine.
Yeah, I never mentioned it.
Would you count that as Wolverine's first appearance, or would you count Deadpool and Wolverine as Wolverine's first?
If it had a photo of Wolverine, I would, but there was no photo.
Fair play.
Then you get to see him,
claws.
And then they have like that celestial like stuck in the ocean or whatever the fuck.
There must be an instance of this somewhere in the many comic book like movies we've got, where like there's a photo of someone before they appear, but I can't think of one. So sorry.
What about? Do you want to count Donald Blake in the Thor film? I hate that they removed that aspect of his character completely, which sucks. Like, it was always cool to see.
All the time.
Yeah, like how Donald Blake had to not only balance his civilian life as a doctor, but the fact that if his hammer was out of his hand for like 30 seconds, that sounds wrong. But then he would turn back to like, he would turn back to Donald.
No, you're right. Yeah, because he had that cane, didn't he? And he had a limp.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've just completely like shattered his character there.
Yeah, they
Just
just
not bothered
ignored
with
him.
him.
I was always confused to why he became. No, like, how did Thor get trapped in that cave in the first place? Because where I'm up to in Thor, I'm not like there hasn't been like a proper origin. Like you've had the origin of Donald Blake becoming Thor.
Yeah.
But so was Thor just chilling in the hammer the whole time?
I think it gets retconned later that he was Thor anyway the whole time. But
because there's another Thor later block. On.
Is there?
Yeah, the one with the beard.
Christ.
Yeah, so it's like Thor has a life on Asgard, but he's been waiting in this cave in the form of a stick. He's been waiting for someone to grab him and smack him, so he can revert back. Oh, lucky Skip Westcott didn't get there. He would use it for some other fiendish things.
Thor just wants a good spanking.
Could you imagine if if Skip gets the stick and he's like using it on Peter, and then all of a sudden he accidentally like taps or something, he just changes into Thor?
What end of the hammer goes in first?
That's crazy. He just kneels like in front of Peter and he's just heartbroken by his actions and what he's done to him. Odin looks on like, what the fuck did my son just do?
How is Skip worthy of the power of Thor? He's a pedophile. Yeah, but that's why he's a really good pedophile. He takes pride in his work, so the hammer deems him worthy. He's actually the best in the business.
He's so good.
When you need someone diddled, you know who to call.
He's so good, he fondled Spider-Man and got away with it. That's how bloody good he is.
Mate, the second they need to bring him back as the mastermind.
Tombstone takes off his mask to reveal Skip Westcott under the suit. Like a Daredevil in a fat suit type thing.
That would redeem Zeb Wells' entire storyline.
I'd actually buy that issue if he did that. Like, I'd buy every single copy if I have to.
You won't want to skip this one, true believers.
Yeah, like the hint on the cover is it's spelt with 2 P's. So people are like, oh, this is spelling mistake.
There's like Tombstone, like you just see Tombstone's back holding the Tombstone mask, and it's Spider-Man. It's like, not you. Not you.
It'd be like that one Kingpin cover from it's in the like 160s issues where he's like standing, he's on the ground like crawling, and the Kingpin, you just see the Kingpin's like massive legs. Yeah. I'm seeing if I'm gonna find it. I can't remember what issue it is though.
While you're looking, what did you think of the voice for Mysterio?
I thought it was a bit weird. I'm used to like a grand sort of jester Mysterio.
Yeah.
Where this one was more like
effect right, but he was more straight talking, wasn't
he? Yeah, he didn't have that theatricalness about him. It's 164, by the way, that issue. You see Spider-Man like on the ground.
Yeah.
Could you just imagine Skip Westcott?
Masterpiece, mate.
Did you pick up on like how freaky Peter and MJ are in this issue as well?
In this issue, like, 164.
Oh, sorry, in the episode, because MJ's like, what's the similarity between me and Spider-Man?
Oh yeah,
like
both looking good and skin tight
outfits. Yeah, so it's like Peter confirmed to have a crush on himself.
And the ending, honestly, I thought was quite nice because he didn't have it didn't ruin his relationship. She comes over and she apologizes, even though it was him who missed the date. She's like, listen, you missed the date, but I was a bit of a dick as well. He was like, hey, we both were. And then they go from there. There's no permanent strain from it.
If this was MJ in the 60s, she'd be like, you can't keep this one down, and then goes off to Harry or some shit, then Flash and
Sorry, Daddy-O.
Yeah, she called him Daddy-O in front of like Aunt Anna and May. No wonder Aunt Anna hates her in the show.
Yeah. He's turning my niece into some slut.
Her father's a deadbeat. How dare you?
It was funny how in this she's in a gym where you can see every curve, and for the rest of the show she's in this massive yellow jumper.
Yeah, minus when she calls him angry.
Yeah, was she in pajamas?
Yeah.
She's a theatre major, but I don't think we ever see her in the uni like we see Flash and Felicia.
Yeah, she just goes off the class in this episode. He walks him there. That's pretty much
this is it, isn't it? That's that.
I did think it was interesting with how they handled MJ and Peter in this. Just with the fact that they don't have much outfits in the whole show. But they wasted budget on this episode with random sort of creatures going through portals and a yellow brick wall forming and everything else but separate outfits for Peter and MJ.
Yeah.
Is no one saying to Peter, like, mate, do you wash your shit? Like, how often do you wear that?
He's just got 4 red tops and 4 black blazers, and he just swaps them out.
We haven't even got that outfit yet, have we?
No, just had the shit polo, the multiple blues.
Didn't they release that as a thing, like an actual like shirt you can buy?
Did they? I remember in a run of Spectacular Spider-Man, he gets like blasted back in time and teams up with teenage Peter, and he's dressed in the polo shirt while teenage Peter's dressed like Spectacular Peter.
Yeah, that was that. I used that issue as a way to say to like Zeb Wells, you missed canon. Because in Zeb Wells' thing, he was saying like how you're like the Norman Osborn I always knew, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you actually didn't meet He's like, you're like Norman Osborn before I knew before the Green Goblin. And like you didn't actually meet him.
He met the Goblin first.
Yeah, because even in that comic book, he's like, who is this? And he's like, you'll find out. It's goes here, like the Disney website, Shop Disney, and it has the polo shirt.
No way, dude, I'm getting that.
That's so cool. Imagine just pulling up to fucking Comic-Con.
Like low friggin', what do they call it? Like stealth cosplay.
Oh yeah, but you also gotta make sure that your pants are like almost to your fucking chest.
I like
set delivery location. Oh please. You're telling me they ship to bloody Cyprus but not Australia. Are you
get rinsed?
They're shipping to South Africa but not Australia? What?
So many snakes.
Lithuania? Liechtenstein? What? Latvia? Where's Latveria at this point?
Hail boom.
I like though when Hail, like for Hydra, whenever they're talking, it doesn't matter what situation. As soon as they mention the word Hydra, they all go Hail Hydra. It's just the funniest thing. It's like a trigger for them.
Ooh, I'm on the trivia page for this episode, yeah. And it says they had to show just a brief flashback of Spider-Man's origin because they weren't allowed to do a full origin episode because the James Cameron Spider-Man movie was going to cover that for them. This was meant to be a continuation of that one.
No way.
Have you ever read the script for that?
Yeah, I know, but
with Boyd the Sandman.
What was the lecturer's name? Was it like Drake or something?
It's like something Carlton. Who was like, was it Carlton Drake or was that?
Yeah, it might have been Carlton Drake.
And he was like a businessman instead of who he's meant to be.
Yeah, and then the bridge scene.
Yeah, that was absolute awfulness. That bridge, where he's like dancing around doing that. trying to flirt with her with knowledge of spiders.
And then the MJ part as well.
And it worked, didn't it?
What were they thinking?
I'm trying to plan something where I can discuss it. Audio drama or something.
And they tell us that Spider-Man isn't meant to grow up. Yeah, right.
Marvel.
Could you imagine that if that film came to life?
Christ, it would have. It wouldn't have been good for us if that was the jumping off point.
Can you imagine if, like, yes, Spider-Man by Sam Raimi never came to existence, but we had the James Cameron trilogy.
The trilogy, mate. How else would he have messed with the friggin'? It would have been like I've been reading that Batman '89, haven't I? And
Yeah.
like the Riddler, his name isn't Edward Nigma or Edward Nashton. His name was Edward Nigel Maynard. And it's like, why are you changing names so stupidly?
Did you see The Penguin, the show?
Yeah, with Oswald, that was so lazy, mate. Oh, I get you now. Sorry, yeah. Cobb. I thought you meant where they turned him into. It's a bad year for Penguin. Caped Crusader turned him into a woman, and then now his name's no longer. Yeah, now his name's Oz Cobb, even though Oswald Cobblepot is fine.
Yeah, it sounds actually more stupid when you say Ozcob.
Yeah, it makes me think of corn on the cob. When Cobblepot sounds like a crazy old timey surname.
It was. Oh my god! There's a kid he hangs out with in the show named Victor, and people are like, "Is this Victor Zaz? This could be Victor Zaz. This could be so good." But people like actually want him to be Victor Zaz.
It's like,
not only is he looking,
how old's the kid?
He looks like 20. But the thing is, he doesn't even look like Zaz.
Zaz from Gotham, I remember being weird as well, but he at least was bald and looked like Zaz.
Well, if Reeves is going to be so insistent on being boring and sticking to like super realistic, at least do Victor Zaz properly.
Yeah, if you're gonna just do like shit villains who could exist, boring serial killer who cuts himself, yeah, go on. That's fine.
Yeah, do Zaz, do
original Clayface, where he
Professor
just wears the mask.
Oh, fuck off. Professor Pig could work.
Mutilating people's genitals.
It could work. Who else would be?
What else have we got?
Big
Killer Croc's just like got face paint.
He got his teeth like sharpened.
Black mask, but he literally there's nothing to do with the comic. He just wears a black mask, but it's a ski mask.
Yeah, he just wears like a balaclava that goes over his nose.
But it's black, like in the comic.
Do you know if the like those two photos of James Cameron Spider-Man film? There's always those two images you see. Are they real? I never knew if they were real or just fan made.
The one that's like a poster, I think, is fan made.
With like Leonardo actually being shown in it.
Yeah, and half his face. Oh, hang on, this one I'm looking at's got the Green Goblin, and he was not meant to be in that.
Yes, that's. I mean, that's just concept art. That's concept art, I think. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio. But what about the one where he's like climbing the building and he's all shadowed? Because that looks sick.
Oh yeah, that looks like the PS1 game cover, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's climbing the building.
Yeah. And he would have made the suit himself instead of getting it from Tony Stark.
I hate now that like the homemade suit is now considered to be this trashy sort of rush put together piece of shit. where in reality the homemade suit should be just the suit.
Yeah, it was homemade. Yeah. I like the suit from the 70s live action show. I like the eyes.
Yeah, it was
Or was
weird
it
as
the
well
80s?
because the Japanese one had the same suit basically, but more comic eyes. I mean, they were
Yeah,
squinting for some.
that suit, the Japanese suit, mate, is literally just bought from like a Halloween shop before they filmed it.
It's the
The
same
look of it, it's
as the
perfect.
70s. But the thing is like that figure of it is
Yeah.
pretty cool. But he's got that stupid watch on his wrist that's like massive.
Oh, that summons Leopard on.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like if I could
yeah, I'm looking at
somehow
it.
remove it, I'd remove the watch and then it'd be like a perfect like theme park Spider-Man figure. Because he wore that suit for the theme parks.
Yeah, them eyes are narrow, aren't they? Christ.
But it looks sick though.
Yeah.
I love the squinty eyes in Spidey.
Where was Nicholas Hammond in No Way Home? With every live
The
action
OG.
Spider-Man. If you just said it suddenly, like that bit where he fights the judo wooden sword thugs, masterpiece, mate.
Could you imagine if like they need help and they're trying to fight the Sinister Five and
Oh,
they
that
look
annoyed
up,
me as well.
but they look up and they see Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man like awkwardly climbing the building with like a rope attached. So
Yeah, the clear harness on his back.
yeah, he's like ascending the building without actually touching the building.
That's right, Peter. I'm you, you're me, and this is a gun.
Now let's
He
kick
fought
some butt.
clones. He's had his clone saga. The live action clone saga has happened.
You think after it you go like, let's go get a cup of Java, boys, and they all leave after they just defeat the Sinister Five.
When we're done with the animated series, mate, we should jump on that. There's only like 4 episodes, like 3 hours long each.
I remember like, didn't they do a movie once of him?
Yeah, it was like Enter the Dragon or something. He goes to the Wild West. He fights like the Yakuza.
I just remember him like going on a swing and he just starts swinging back and forth for like 5 minutes.
Mate, to have been around when they were airing live would have been something.
It's sort of sad that it's better than what we got now.
Yeah. Why haven't they yet give us a live action Spider-Man show? It's well better suited for long form television than movies.
Yeah, because Sam Raimi tried his best to progress him as a character, but the movie format just did not work in his favor because it's like the actors just grow old too fast.
Yeah.
So like Peter's in his mid-20s looking like he's 35 and he's overweight, but then he puts on the costume and he's buff.
Yeah, he looks rough in 3, doesn't
But then when he puts the suit on, he's like got a jawline, he's got abs, he's got a it's like what how?
that scene where he's in the park crying about Mary Jane when she leaves
Yeah,
him.
it
It might
looks
just be the
horrible.
jumper he's wearing, but it doesn't look. I suppose that's the point, to not look like you are actually Spider-Man. Not like in this
Like
show, where it's
the 90s Spider-Man would kick his ass.
mate.
The comic version and the show.
Yeah, he just can't punch him.
He just kicks. Does that make
It's just
him the most
dodges out the way.
overpowered? Or does that make him the most overpowered Spider-Man? Because he defeats all his rogues gallery by kicking and webbing. He doesn't need
Easy,
to throw a
mate.
punch.
He could beat these guys with 2 hands tied behind his back.
My spider sense are tingling, if you know what I mean.
Ooh. This version of Spider-Man is, as I've said before, the chosen one to me. He's just he's the first thing I think of. He's the voice of read the comics in.
He's funny.
He gets shit done. He's smart. Like episode 2 where he's like planning out It was 3. Sorry, he's planning out how to stop the Slayers, and like he sees a specific type of laser beam, and he knows straight away exactly what this laser beam does.
Yeah,
He's a smart bloke,
and he hates Jameson.
Yeah,
I love
like
in
he's
this
always
show.
teasing.
In this episode, when Mysterio reveals that he's captured Lee and Jonah,
Yeah,
and he's like, "Let them go." Well, Jameson, you can keep. He shouts at the top of his lungs.
yeah.
Did you like that Hollywood joke as well? He did when he jumps through the giant device.
What day
He's
was
like,
that? Sorry.
when you know the end when he's trying to save Jameson and Lee, and then he jumps like there's a giant robot dragon thing trying to bite him, and he just jumps through its mouth, like just like Hollywood.
Let's see how real you are.
And he says like Hollywood's like shallow on the inside. It's robotic.
Yeah, empty on the inside.
What episode are you looking forward to next? Now that we've gotten one of the best villains out
Now
of
we've
the
had
way.
a genuine sick one, mate.
That last one was just like us sort of just banging our heads on the desk.
Well, when Alistair Smythe is the mastermind, just get on with it. Black Suit Saga's coming up. That's good. Hobgoblin 2-part is good. The Scorpion one.
The Chameleon.
Oh, mate, I've got.
Oh, you know what pissed me off? It's
Go on.
like they can't tell who's who when someone's got a big fucking belt that distinguishes between who's who. I can't tell which one's Spider-Man.
I was saving this for when we get to it, but it annoys me to no end how in the last few episodes of this season you have the brilliant Alien Suit Saga. Do you do the grand finale to the season on Venom? No, mate. Okay. Well, next we've got the Hobgoblin, one of Spidey's like most bitter rivalry villains. Do we end it on the Hobgoblin? No. Let's end the season on the Chameleon.
trying to kill two diplomats on the brink of a peace thing.
Why? Like that's the big finale to the season is the Chameleon when we've just had Venom and
it's sad because the intro of the season 1, that entire intro is basically telling you that Venom is the big bad.
Yeah, he gets the last shot, doesn't he?
They constantly show him. Yeah, and he's in the last shot, and the symbiote does that. You know, where they put the red costume and the black costume fighter. It's like it's clearly telling you that the symbiote is the main thing. Just throw it away.
Yeah, and then again, we will get to it, but this whole season builds up Eddie Brock, and then after this season, we see Eddie Brock a grand total of once. Well, twice really. It's one story, but it's 2 episodes, and then you just never see Eddie Brock again. All this build up, it's like in Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond, mate. All of season 1, the building up Blight as the enemy for Batman. He defeats her at the end of season 1, and you never see Blight again.
It's like, it's weird because I don't know if maybe it was like a conflict within the office because it was there's parts where it's clearly just mixed up.
Yeah.
I like to just point, like, especially with even something as simple as this episode being rushed to be made, even though it's like, mate, you just started the season, how are you rushing an episode already? And then you got stuff like the episodes being out of order depending on where you watch it. So it's like, you know, what's meant to be the correct viewing order?
Yeah, like, as I said to you before, Dr. Octopus, you could watch it second and it'll still make perfect sense because Peter doesn't even mention Mary Jane, I'm pretty sure. He's still into Felicia. In fact, you could watch 1 and 2, then Dr. Octopus, and then the Spider Slayer Part 2. Because he says in Part 2 of Spider Slayers, I destroyed this thing months ago. But to us, that was 1 episode. So what's he been doing in the meantime? Me and you, mate, we need to get we need to create the true best
The
watch
definitive.
list, the definitive watch list.
We could
Exactly
do it
the
as a part
perfect
of
way.
when we do the tier ranking. We can do
Yeah.
this afterwards. We
What
just go,
order?
okay, now
We'll write
this
down
is
the
the order.
clues. So if Mary Jane appears, it can't happen before Spider Slayers 2.
And then
You know, like how Star Wars, some people watch them 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6.
you like release date order, or then they go
Yeah.
chronological order.
Yeah, there's different ways of. We need to implement the ideal.
Spider-Man the animated series Panel Pals chronological order. We'll make a Panel Pals website just so you can find, where do we go from here?
It's just the ramblings, mate. Like in Always Sunny, where he's trying to figure out where the mail's going. He's got the board behind him with all the pins and the string.
Yeah, like this in TASM 2.
Yeah.
We play like that Gone, Gone, Gone song. It's like, when life leaves you high and dry, you start fucking freaking out.
Well, the Scorpion episode mentions that Jonah hates Spider-Man, so this must happen before Mysterio strikes where Jonah already hates Spider-Man. But the mention of Mary Jane means it can't
sort
happen.
of contradicts this. What about, did you notice when Spidey remarks, like, it's like I stepped into a Ray Harryhausen movie.
Harryhausen movie.
There was heaps of sort of things as well. Because wasn't this episode was called Menace of Mysterio, right?
Yeah. Like the book.
That was issue 13?
I believe so. Even though the best Mysterio story is the madness of Mysterio. So he grows huge and makes him think he's trapped him in a theme park.
Isn't that John Romita, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
issue 34, I think. But yeah, go on, sorry. Ray Harryhausen.
No, that was still Ditko in 34.
Oh, perhaps it's 50 something then. I'm bad with the numbers.
I remember the cool one, the cover where Mysterio is like he's in the forefront, and then Spidey's hanging on his web in the background. And
yeah, that's what I'm on about.
White back.
40.
Sick as.
Hang on. The 46. Let me load it in. Can't see it. 66.
I feel like it's in the 60s, yeah.
Yeah, issue 66 and 67. Because 67 is the one where Spider-Man's like shitting himself and Mysterio's giant hands are going to get him.
It's cool as.
Mate, that's my favourite Mysterio tale.
68 was that weird protest issue.
Yeah, because it says at the end of the Mysterio one, Spidey's swinging away. It says at the bottom right, next, crisis on campus.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's a cool cover, but it's like, what the fuck's happening?
Where's the supervillain?
In the Spider-Man PS4 game, they show a photo of Spidey, I think to do with Norman's running for mayor.
Yeah.
And the photo is like a recreation of that cover, where he's swinging in the same pose and everyone's at the signs and shit like that. That's when Insomniac
the classic Spidey swing, like PNG.
That now they don't care anymore, Insomniac.
Insomniac.
There was also then issue 69 was the Kingpin.
Was that the tablet of the Lifeline Saga thing? Or was that coming up?
Yeah, I think that was right then, yeah. Because then they had like Man Mountain Marco or something like that.
Yeah, no relation to Flint or Kane. What if Man Mountain Marco was also the Juggernaut's stepbrother? It was just, I'm not a mutant.
I'm just big. Did you know I have this one last thing in my notes, which I thought it was just funny. On one of the newspapers, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It has a date of like 1994, but the show came out in 95.
Nice.
And the copyright. Yeah, the copyright date, I'm pretty sure in the credits is 95.
So did they like make the episode and sit on it? Because I've done that a few times.
But it's weird because this episode was rushed. It's like, did they just
Chuck
not
it in.
care.
I think it was this one. If I'm honest, I remember years ago I had to drive around a lot for work, and there was a podcast about this show where it was two brothers like going through episode and episode, and I'm sure one of them mentioned that this one got rushed, and that's why it's basically the comic brought onto the screen. Didn't have time to do their own ideas.
Well, you want to know an interesting thing I just found out about the Spider Slayers, which relates to what you were saying?
Oh.
It says, although it is not labeled Part 2, this is a direct follow-up, obviously, from the previous episode, though from the dialogue, it is confirmed that a few moments had passed since the previous episode.
Yeah, Spidey says, I destroyed that thing months ago.
So that means that we could, with our listing, we could maybe fit in another episode into that sort of bracket.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I don't think Mary Jane gets mentioned in Dr. Octopus. So I'm not sure if she does in the Scorpion.
So does maybe Doc Ock come after episode 2, maybe?
Maybe.
Like Doc Ock, Scorpion, Spider Slayer Part 2.
Thankfully, anything with Mary Jane in it where Peter is, even if she doesn't appear, if Peter mentions it, that he's met her, then it must happen after Part 2 of the Spider Slayers. But anything where Mary Jane's absent, we could slide that right in. Like,
well, because if it's been months since he's last destroyed a Spider Slayer, I wouldn't feel like one episode would take up months, so maybe we could fit in heaps into the gap of...
It's a bit of a huge space in it. For like nothing to happen, like for him to just be fighting thugs. It's like, again, in No Way Home, where Tobey Maguire, man, fought the Goblin, Doc Ock, Sandman, Venom, and then no one for 20 years. That's stupid. This is why the game version is well cooler. Because he's fought Shocker, Rhino, Scorpion, Mad Bomber, Kraven, Lizard. Yeah. Toby gets his chance to actually fight more than one Spider-Man villain.
It is a bit stupid, though, the fact that they just sort of ended there.
Yeah. So if you're living the life of Spider, you've read the comics, mate. You know, like, every week, some knobhead rolls up for a scrap. So there's no way he's gone months without fighting any supervillains.
Well, you wanna know what's funny about his supervillain of this episode? Ooh, I was just doing more research. Mysterio voices Odie in Adventures of Garfield.
No way. What was it, Greg Berger?
Yeah, he's been doing this for 5 years. He's doing it now. He's the current Odie voice actor.
No way. Oh, he's 73.
Bloody oath. He was...
Is he Kraven too?
He was Absorbing Man in Avengers Assemble, and in the shitty Spider-Man show.
He was Ripto in Spyro. Ultimate Alliance, he was Thing, Galactus, and Atuma. He's Mysterio and Kraven in here, so that's something else Mysterio stole from Kraven, his voice actor.
Oh, what? He was in Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah.
Where the
Thing, Galactus, and Atuma. I'm on his Wikipedia. Would you say Greg Berger's the definitive Mysterio?
I love the spectacular one.
Mine's dead weird, my pick for Mysterio, because he's never voiced Mysterio. It's, oh my god, what's his name? Kelsey Grammer, Sideshow Bob, and Beast from X-Men 3.
Really?
Yeah, like if you give his voice the weird filter, and it's how he talks, like very grand, very like Shakespeare, and that's Mysterio to me. Like his everything he does is meant to be mega dramatic.
Well, I just love that one scene in the Spectacular show where he's getting arrested, and he's like, "Don't you know me? I'm the Mysterio." And he's like, Spidey's like, "I don't know who the fuck you are."
I love when him and the Tinkerer is like they've escaped, but Spider-Man doesn't know it because a robot's been sent to prison instead. And Tinkerer goes, "How stupid are you? You could have made that robot look like anyone." He goes, "And let just anyone take credit for the role of Mysterio." That's what I mean. He should be. He should love it, which is why. What's his name in the movie being like, "Get this stupid suit off me." That shit. Mysterio loves what he does.
Get the Spectacular Spider-Man. He was in The Simpsons. He was in an episode, and he was in Shattered Dimensions: Edge of Time.
Who? Greg Berger?
Actually, he played the Blob in the X-Men Wolverine game. Did you just call me? He played Kingpin? No way!
In what?
Spider-Man Web of Shadows?
Oh, that was him.
My God.
When this is said and done, who will the people remember as their savior? Not me. I'm Spider-Man.
I love when he's saying something like, when you're just talking to him normally, he's like, "What? You getting takeout?"
Yes, rips him for no reason. Johnny Bravo? Oh, but he wasn't Johnny Bravo. Okay. Recess. Who was he?
He did the Beast in the game. I didn't realize he did the Beast in the X-Men game.
What X-Men game?
The movie tie-in one for the first one.
Oh.
What a classic.
Wolverine's Revenge or something.
No, it's just X-Men, the official game, but Wolverine's on the front cover and no one else.
Yeah, well, doesn't that just sum up Fox's X-Men?
He was in the Powerpuff Girls.
If he wasn't Mojo Jojo, doesn't matter.
No, he was just like an FBI agent. Pirates: The Legend of Black Cat, but Cat is spelled with a K.
Ooh. Star Wars Jedi Outcast. That one's sick.
He played Agent K in the Men in Black show.
The main character. Is that one Will Smith? Or is he Jay?
No, isn't he'd be the Two-Face guy, wouldn't he? What's his name? I forgot his name.
Tommy Lee Jones.
How can I forget Tommy Lee Jones?
Norman Osborn himself, from TAS. Oh, dude, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy.
He was in
sick.
Batman Beyond.
Was he?
He was the back computer.
We needed more Beyond, mate. I know the comics are there, but we needed more Batman Beyond in general.
Yeah, there's something about the show that just hits right.
Yeah.
The animated series of Superman he was in.
The good one.
The Curse of
TAS.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ooh.
he was in that.
Nice.
Crash Savage Dragon.
Additional voices. The Savage Dragon. I just see panels where it's just porn for Savage Dragon.
Who's Rosie from Batman the Animated Series?
Rosie. Is it a Greg Berger character?
Yeah.
Rosie. When you say Rosie, you think woman, but now I'm like, must have been like a one-off.
It's funny because like the only Rosie I see is Roxy Rocket and the Red Claw. Red Claw, a woman. Do you have a problem?
Golem? Do you remember Golem from Batman Beyond? Where the kid hijacks like a construction machine to kill Flash.
Does he voice him?
No, he voiced the operator who it gets stolen from.
He's done a shit ton.
Nice.
Good to
He's
see
the definitive absorbing man because he was in 2017 Spider-Man and Avengers Assemble as the absorbing man. Yeah.
When we do like the definitive order of the show, we should do like the LA Noir music. So we feel like we're trying to discover it.
And we're investigating that one.
Mary Jane isn't listed here, but...
My God.
You dandish fiend. You
I didn't know there was a Savage Dragon cartoon.
Mary Jane was in The Nutty Professor. That's crazy.
I was looking the other
Fraser?
For was she? That is Mysterio to me. Nice. That's what I've just said. Kelsey Grammer.
Who else is there?
I was looking yesterday for voice clips of Christopher Daniel Barnes' Spider-Man, but there's none that don't have the background music blaring.
You'd have to do some sort of like AI to sort of get it right.
I looked into that as well, and that was dog shit.
What?
So then I swapped to Josh Keaton and couldn't find any of his either. That fit the scene I was trying to craft.
What's with Marvel and getting, good Spider-Man voice actors, but not making them voice Spider-Man outside of their show?
True,
Christopher
How many
Daniel Barnes.
Electros you meant to sit through?
Well, Christopher Daniel Barnes and Electro in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. In Ultimate Spider-Man, he was Wolf Spider. In Spider-Man Unlimited, he was Electro and Vulture. In the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game, he was Donald Menken.
No way, mate.
Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man Noir. Cinderella, Jackie Chan.
Jackie
Beverly
Chan?
Hills.
Who was he in Jackie Chan? I've been watching that. Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah, he was Target McStone. Or Taggart McStone.
Oh my god, I've had that episode, yeah. That's it.
I love Christopher Daniel Barnes.
He's definitive Spidey to me.
But besides Spidey, he didn't do much?
Yeah, it's a shame. Well, he was in, what is it? It's not Even Stevens. It's some old sitcom. Brady Bunch.
Was he in the
I think that's
Brady
what he's
Bunch?
known for. And then he was in Little Mermaid as like the love interest.
Oh yeah,
and that's more or less it. But it's grim. If I was making a Spider-Man like cartoon, he'd be the first person I got on the phone to.
I mean, it's pretty annoying that they've had Josh Keaton and Daniel Barnes come back to do Electro.
But why Electro of all people? Yeah, he's got no personal connection to Spider-Man or none.
It's so stupid because it doesn't add up. Not even like, I don't know, Uncle Ben.
Oh, that's a good shout. That actually, imagine Uncle Ben sounding like you could have Peter Josh Keaton. Or you could have Uncle Ben Chris Barnes.
Well, it was like that thing of, I mean, it was pretty annoying, but people were saying like, with Tobey Maguire being Tom Holland's Uncle Ben. It'd just be a bit weird though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, I didn't realize the Doc Ock voice actor was the definitive Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, Efren Zimbalist. Hell yeah,
he
mate.
Does it everywhere?
Yeah. I drew you a bath.
I love animated It was Justin Hammer and Iron Man, the 90s show.
Was he?
What a legend. Alfred. That's all you see, Alfred? He's done shit.
Sick name as well. Zimbalist. Ephraim Zimbalist.
Do you prefer Comic Hour as your name?
No, he can have that one. It's too generic. It's not. It could be a podcast name. It could be a radio show.
Pick one, man.
There we go. Filmography. I'm on Ephraim now as well.
It's like in the 60s, when for some reason, to build tension in Silver Age comics, Stan Lee always wrote, like, I don't know, maybe Mr. Fantastic to go up to someone who needs to, like, say the answer to the question they so desperately need to win the battle. And, like, Mr. Fantastic will always slap him and go, think, man! Think! It's like, it's...
Better than slapping Sue.
You'll leave that to Hank. I love just, like, the fact that when Hank went into Daredevil's brain to help kill all these, like, little robots planted in there by Dr. Doom.
Standard Doom plot, mate.
It's like, because I think because of his radar sense and the fact that Ant-Man was in his brain, he was like, their memories were swapping. Also, like, it starts off with like Daredevil explaining his origin for the billionth time.
Yeah.
But he oddly looks like Hank Pym, and Karen oddly looks like Janet. And it's just weird as fuck. And then Ant-Man inside of Daredevil's brain gets radar sense, and he kills all the robots using the radar sense.
Sick, dude. Do you remember now that you've the time Spider-Man went blind because the Mass Marauder blasted him, and then he also developed radar sense?
Didn't Daredevil need to teach him?
Yeah. Like, is that just in Marvel? If you go blind, you just get it. I thought it was the radiation in Matt's eyes that gave him radar sense, but no, apparently you just get it.
Well, is it maybe because Spider-Man has radioactive blood in his stream?
Oh my god, you're right. And May should have it then, shouldn't she? Because she got the transfusion.
Aunt May is the
blind.
most stubborn character. This woman has survived everything.
Yeah, even like cancer. She had cancer in like 2018, didn't she? And they just brushed that under the rug. Don't worry about it.
Radiation in her bloodstream, being shot,
being kidnapped, getting buried alive.
Natural causes, because it was just an actress, so she basically dodged a natural cause death.
The Grim Reaper's like come and calling. It's the actress. He's outsmarted death itself multiple times.
The Grim Reaper gets a phone call saying like, "Oh, this woman's she's gonna die," and then he sees it's Aunt May. He's like, "For fuck's sake!" And he just like puts the phone down.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother.
Then he's like, his death receptionist is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, No, you don't understand. This woman just won't go.
It's a waste of petrol. I'm not going.
You think when like he's about to set out to finally kill Aunt May, his death butler's like, "Should I prepare a meal?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'll be getting takeout."
Tonight will be my end, but it will be hers.
When Aunt May stops to think twice, that is death. That is what I am.
Death's like flying home, and Aunt May's on the radio. I'm in your house.
And Alfred's like actually his butler because he's dead now anyway.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But it will be hers.
That's the beauty of comics, that mate. You can still just have them voicing the character. What's his name? Roscoe Lee Brown. Still my kingpin.
Is he the as animated series Kingpin?
Yeah.
I get confused in my head because I switch between him and Vincent D'Onofrio. So it's a constant battle in my mind of who's voicing them. It's like it's weird because almost it's based off the era as well.
Oh yeah.
When I was rereading issue 197 for my video, and I was trying to like think of a voice in my head of who's speaking as the Kingpin, I tried D'Onofrio, but the era didn't feel right for him.
Yeah.
He feels more right for like getting bumped in prison. He always does that nervous thing with his hands where he like cracks his knuckles 24/7.
Yeah.
Mr. Murdoch, have you ever been to prison?
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
In the pale moonlight, Mr. Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, I stared into the abyss. I didn't blink.
You wouldn't hit a man with glasses, would you, Mr. Murdoch?
You got a fucking Wesley. Was it Wesley or Leland? I keep getting the Alan and his fucking side piece.
Wesley, yeah.
And,
Wesley,
you got him like, yeah. Shall I make you dinner tonight, sir? No, I'll be getting takeout.
Did you get this stuff? Yeah, boss. There better not be one fry missing.
He's got like a fist credit card.
Forever.
What's
he say when he cracks out the credit card, man? He says something stupid, doesn't he? Batman and Robin.
Is it I'll be getting takeaway?
I'm thinking of it. Even better in the masterpiece, the best Christmas film ever made, Batman Returns.
Oh, yeah, what a cool.
I have been eating all day. So he punches Catwoman, knocks her on her ass. Eat floor. High five it.
It's like it just feels wrong when Batman jokes like that.
Yeah, well, that page I sent you the other day where he was fighting the Monarch. So like, you can't do crime in this town wearing that. Burger King will sue. Batman. There was a brilliant bit in that very page as well, where like a random thug jumps at Batman and he just kicks him in the face and goes, "Not now, punk." Thought that was sick.
Could you imagine whenever Batman in the 70s is like doing a shitty joke, it's just in the voice of like Roger Craig Smith, and he's like really, really pissed off at Alfred.
It's Christian Bale, mate. You can't do crime dressed like that.
You'll never make it in the world, the underworld. Where are these threads anyway? He got like, and then he got, Burger King will sue you for trademark infringement.
Yeah.
Alfred's like, Master Bruce, your heart rate is going off the chain. Alfred. They're gonna sue him, Alfred. I'm giving him legal advice.
In Batman Dies Twice, where he's in disguise as an I think it was Sal Maroni he's in disguise as, and he pulls off the mask and he's wearing his cowl under it, but you couldn't see the huge ears under the Maroni mask. But like he pulls that off and he's in the Arkham Origins like huge armor bulky suit. How did he do it?
Well, like when Daredevil wears the fat suit, how does he have the strength of the Kingpin?
True, because Kingpin stands up to Spidey, and in Daredevil's first fight with Spider-Man, he says like he'll cream me if he lands one punch.
He'll cream him.
Skip will cream me if he lands.
This move from prison, Spider-Man.
The creamer.
Even like there's a Golden Age Batman one where he says, "Have a seat, boys. There's enough room on this chair for two," and he just smacks them with a wooden chair.
Incredible, mate. I read an actually sick issue the other day where Batman was investigating Arkham Asylum, but it was before everything revolved around Arkham Asylum, and he was the administrator, the head administrator of Arkham, was letting criminals out to do crime, and then they were running back so they could be like, "No, look, Batman, he's here. He's been in his cell the whole time," and they were taking a cut. Oh, I don't know. It was just Batman, because it was on the issues I've been going through. It was just before Batman Dies Twice, and it ended with the administrator going mad, because of course it did. But at the time, he's like sneaking around Arkham because he gets himself admitted, and he's like sneaking around investigating. And I remember thinking, this is a good like little detective like tale. This no big supervillains, just Batman like getting shit done.
Oh, I like this one Shadow the Bat story, which is like the first appearance of Victor Zsasz, where
Zsasz, as it's spelled.
It's like reading that as like growing up and reading that book. How would you supposed to know what to like pronounce?
Why didn't you just Z-A-Z if they wanted to pick on fucking Zaz? That'll do.
It's like in like X-Men books, or it's like, by the way, it's not pronounced Kazar, it's pronounced like Kazar.
Oh,
like, well, how am I supposed to fucking know?
It's like X-O-R-N.
You guys don't tell me these things. But it was just like in the story, I'm pretty sure Amadeus Arkham might have been trying to frame Batman or something like that.
ratty move.
He's like trying to get him like admitted into Arkham, I think. And then Victor Zsasz is in like this horrible cell. He's just a freak.
Have you ever read Live in Hell? Arkham Asylum, Live in Hell. It's about the great white shark.
I have not. No. When did that come out?
Ages ago, like before. It was a fair while. I think it might have been like 2006 or something. But this fella gets himself admitted to Arkham instead of going to prison, and quickly finds out that was a mistake.
Yeah, why would you actively want to go to Arkham?
Yeah, because he was thinking like, oh, it's a psychiatric hospital instead of prison, belter. And then like he goes in, he sees all the absolute psychopaths who live there. Mr. Freeze gives him so much frostbite he loses his nose. That's how he becomes the great white shark.
No fucking way. That poor guy just thought he was getting like a free ticket like out of prison.
He's like, pretend to be mad for a bit, get better, and they'll re-release me into society. And no, mate, it went nightmarish. Let me see. I think it was Live in Hell. My phone's like so crap. How many times have I pressed back?
It's like when you got a never-ending day's work of gatekeeping.
Where's Arkham Asylum 2003? Arkham Asylum, Live in Hell. Extreme myth. Is that the one that introduced Doodlebug as well? Have you heard of him?
Doodlebug?
Doodlebug. He like does graffiti. He's in Arkham Asylum, but he does graffiti and shit.
You gotta do a video on Doodlebug.
Doodlebug, dude, I'll do all of it because they introduced a load of like dodgy Batman villains like Humpty Dumpty, the fella who takes things apart and puts them back together, and then tried to do it to his nan. The only bad thing is it looks like Dan Slott was the writer.
Poison Ivy looks just like Arkham Asylum Poison Ivy.
Let's have a look.
That Killer Croc cover is terrifying. Those eyes. Those red eyes.
Did you think it was stupid how Poison Ivy kept wearing, in the Arkham games, asylum stuff, even though the asylum had been shut down for like 3 years?
I guess she just doesn't have any other clothes.
Deadshot as well, when he appears in the Night comic, is still wearing his Arkham City uniform.
I hated that costume so much.
Yeah, it's just like a head strap over his prison outfit, innit? Where's the people like the Joker gets to wear his bright purple suit and everything, but everyone else has to still wear the shit asylum clothes. Yeah, that Killer Croc cover's hardcore, mate.
You see the fear on that poor guy.
Is that Aaron Cash?
Better be fucking dessert.
But yeah, Ivy is literally got the same. Why did he let them dress like that in prison, man? That's bad news.
I know. I love in the 60s show and the 2000 game, the fact that they just all wear their costume in Spider-Man.
Yeah, in the Halloween bit.
Even just in I remember in the 60s show, I'm pretty sure Green Goblin or Electro was just wearing their outfits in prison.
Yeah, I think the same about it cuts to Batman and not in specific, but in any Batman thing, it seems you'll be walking through Arkham and all the supervillains will be in there, their personas. Scarecrow will be wearing his Scarecrow mask, and it's aren't you meant to be breaking these people out of this lunacy habit? Why are you letting them wear his? Why are you giving the Mad Hatter his hats in his cell?
Oh, mate, Lego Batman was the biggest offender. You're telling me they all go into Arkham and it's just the Lego Joker gets to keep his suit? Do they not care for the citizens of Gotham?
The booby traps and shit in there too.
In Lego Batman, that man right there managed to explode a wall within the prison.
And then they just put him back in at the end of the night.
I love in like SpongeBob when Plankton had a normal sized prison.
So like he had all the space.
Yeah.
There was it was just a, didn't he just walk through the bars?
Like like for some reason he just didn't. But then by the end of the episode, they give him a new cell where it's like his size.
I think I've seen a picture that he has like stuffed in it.
And then SpongeBob, Squidward, and Patrick were waiting for him because he tricked them into becoming a band. And they're like, "Well, we can just practice here," and then they just start fucking like jamming out. And he starts screaming.
Who's next then? Is it Dr. Octopus?
It is Alfred himself,
Nice.
Alfred Pennyworth.
And another like J. Jonah adventure coming up.
Oh, the Scorpion soon.
Oh, I meant the Dr. Octopus one. He plays a vital role in the Doc Ock one too.
The Scorpions. I love in Scorpion stories when you have to chase Scorpion from getting to Jameson.
Yeah.
I think they did that first in issue 29 of Spidey. And then it's become like a trope now where you gotta at least once chase him.
If he's out of prison, then yeah, he should be gunning for Jonah.
It's funny.
Ruined his life. Out the tail.
How does the Rhino, do his thing? There's a long time where he couldn't actually get out of the thing.
Even now, it's screwy on if he can or can't, isn't it? Because why would you ever get back in?
Oh, Zeb Wells made him so he could get out.
Does the Rhino suit actually do anything? Like, couldn't he? It's him who's got the strength and the power, isn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense because he's a human. So if anything, it still hurt a lot.
But he's like a gamma-powered human now, isn't he?
Oh, it's gone off the rails.
Of course it is.
You know what's my favorite thing about the Rhino, though? In the 60s episode, when he has his first appearance, just him running is a joy to behold. The best view is from, like, front on, because they didn't really know how to animate him running front, like, facing you.
Yeah.
So he's, like, his legs are just, like, on his side, and it just... Like,
Jesus.
They just go up and down. It's just horrible. Spider-Man's like on the train because the train had like top secret equipment from the government, and it's top secret because there's only one box with top secret written on it.
Don't look in this box.
Don't look at the top secret box. And then he's like, "What is that?" And he just stares. He's staring at the Rhino for 20 seconds, and then the Rhino just crashes into the train. Yeah, he just crashes into it. And takes the secret box.
How come in one episode Spidey's this hated pariah of the public, and then in this episode he's suddenly so trustworthy, he's given the top secret box?
I mean, it's like,
wow.
It's pretty comic accurate when you think about it, because the Marvel civilians were always inconsistent and severely stupid.
Oh, do you remember, ridiculous?
Like, in the 70s, when the mayor, I think, cleared him of all the accused criminal charges he had, and he just starts jumping around the city, like, full of joy. Even, like, the cover's like, a brand new era in the Spidey title. Like, no, you just finally got rid of that stupid plot where the police, every time he, like, did anything, the police would be like, freeze! I think the writer just got sick of having to make sure, like, everyone hated him.
Do you remember that cover where it's called like Spidey busts out and he's on the wall and there's two policemen behind him?
Oh, it's cool. That's that cover though.
Sick, dude.
He's got the web backpack as well.
Oh, classic.
I think they might have done that issue like panel for panel in the 60s show as well.
Ah, nice.
We got to do the 60s show at some point.
We're gonna have to, mate.
But for next episode, we've got Doc Ock, as you said.
Yeah. Not episode
Dusty
8.
Fiend?
Why didn't they wait for episode 8?
Why did they make
Why is-
Chameleon?
Why is October the 10th month and not the 8th month?
It sounds like
All this
racism
and
to
more.
me.
All this and more on the next.
But it's nearly 4 a.m. and you got me
episode.
critical thinking about the months.
But why?
I'm gonna be trying to sleep tonight thinking, why isn't it the 8th?
Oh gosh. Swap
Why
it.
is it the 10th? Oh god, and then I'll get put into Arkham Asylum, I'll turn into that one guy.
Puts Arkham Asylum thinking, it's okay, it's a psychiatric hospital. So you lose your nose to Mr. Freeze's frostbite, kill a croc, cut gills into your neck to make you more like a shark. Easy. Ventriloquist shoves his hand up.
You know, if I can just get one little go of poison ivy, it'll be all worth it when I die.
Ooh. More of a Catwoman man myself.
You know, it's just because poison ivy, I'd probably die of poison right after.
Probably be worth it though.
I don't think I want to live after what they're gonna put me through.
Asylum ivy, yeah, maybe not night. Don't know what they did to her there.
But isn't it sort of funny how, in a way, that guy was just a poor, random criminal? He's just a normal guy, and these like super villains just bully the shit out of him.
It said that he was only there for like tax evasion or something. Yeah, Warren White, Great White. Let me have a look. Do. He was a crooked financier. Meaning, yeah, he just embezzled money and went to Arkham for it.
It's funny. Like, what was Mr. Freeze doing that close to him in the first place?
Exactly. He's just. I'm gonna reread it and find out. You know, I don't care if
Wouldn't
that's
he be isolated?
You would imagine, wouldn't you? Because he can't eat. Why is he out of his? Either Warren must have went into Freeze's cell. Because Freeze can't survive outside the cell unless he's got a suit. But why would you go in there?
He must have been suicidal.
In the game Arkham Asylum, Freeze's cell's in the extreme isolation bit, isn't it?
And it's just frozen.
Yeah.
I love how you can kick them off the rails and they clearly die.
The throw move is so brutal in that game. I've just been chucking people off like cliffs. You know the bit where Joker's got two like innocent orderlies in bird cages and there's a massive drop under here before the lab.
You throw them off that?
You can. I got the grapple gun, mate. I pulled them all off and it was a pretty deep drop. I think my Batman might have killed that. And the bit where we beat up them goons in the puddle and they end up face down in the sewage.
The sewage,
yeah. Like, yeah, well, Batman didn't kill him, but he's going to drown, isn't he?
And if he somehow doesn't drown, he's going to get some sort of disease from all that sewage water.
Comes up looking like Two-Face and like, what happened? Got infected. Especially Titan starts running through them pipes later, doesn't it?
So yeah, it does.
Yeah. So what if when Batman returned there? Hey, Batman Returns, good Christmas film.
I was just going to say that.
When Batman comes back to that bit, all the dudes he's beat up are now just huge titans.
He just gets like kingpinned from the prison. Like, what else is he supposed to do against?
Mate, he takes on two at once and then that's it, innit? That's the limit.
Oh, even that was pretty annoying on like the hard difficulty. Having all those goons and then two titans just charging at you constantly.
Oh yeah. You do two in the greenhouse.
I like when he fucking Joker tries to tickle Batman.
Yeah. Even then, in that boss fight, the grapple gun, the back claw is the most broken weapon in that game. Because even all them dudes that like stand on top, you can just drag them all down.
Do you use it on the grates as well?
Yeah, because it takes like 2 seconds. Tap? Yeah.
As soon as you like latch onto it, it's basically ripped open.
Predator encounters just become a piece of piss. That one in the library, in the archive room, just get out the grapple gun, drag them all down.
I hate when they just get that collar though, and they start buddying up.
Yeah.
It came from over here, I'm sure of it. I'm sure it came from over there.
Sonic Batarang and the floor mates draw them to you.
Oh, and then you explode it.
Nightwing sucks in Arkham Knight, though.
Yeah, because they got rid of all that made him unique in City, and they just made him Batman, but just shit.
I was trying to do, I think it's Silent Night, the map that they remade for Night from Arkham Asylum. And it's where the lift is, where you first go down, and Joker threatens to pop the cable and just kill you then and there. It's that room.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do it as Nightwing, and he's got no like glide or nothing. It's just dog shit.
And they got rid of the darts. The darts was so much fun because if you got a headshot, I'm pretty sure it knocked them out.
Oh, but he's got his wingdings, doesn't he?
They didn't even name it wingdings in Night. They just named it a Batarang.
Oh, boy, there's a screamer
at least make it unique.
Yeah. Wingding. It sounds funny, but it's something he would name it as well. His wingding. Crazy.
To take a page from old Comic Hour, I feel like a good way to maybe end this episode would be to, what's something we can expect in your channel upcoming? We can maybe have a segment.
When this one comes out, we'll be halfway through October.
Fucking hell.
So I've done a crap ton of Halloween specials, mate. I think overall 6.
Ignore that Panel Pals makes the time go that far.
What about you? What you got?
A ticking doomsday clock.
I'm trying to think. Well, Arkham, by recording of this, episode 1's come out, but episode 2 hasn't, and Arkham Origins hasn't. I think that comes out tonight. So
Origins is sick though. I wish they had.
Oh yeah, mate, it's
proper thing.
We can call the last half hour of this the promo for that because we've just been for that, which would have come out 3 weeks ago by the time you're listening to this one. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been but while recording this, I'm about a quarter of the way done with the Shadow of the Green Goblin video.
Ooh.
People finally have it. There you go, you sick bloody bastards. There, go feast on that one.
What about Jonah's family?
Well, you see, Jonah is good buddies with Norman. So technically, he may not be there in presence, but he's there in spirit.
Yeah, they're in the same gentleman's club, aren't they?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Open if that's like the Epstein list. It's the Norman list.
Yeah. Norman Osborn and Jonah Jameson.
The Osborn list.
Justin Hammer. They all in the flight logs.
But I got a Superman comic I have to look at, a couple detective comics as requests. But
nice.
One thing I really want to do is I want to make a proper Daredevil video.
Nice.
Whether it's Born Again or maybe the first Elektra plot, or maybe like the Last Rites story, even Foggy and Cancer. I was thinking like a story on his. I was trying to think of like one of those,
on his diagnosis.
Like just like because you get those sweet moments of him and Matt being best mates, like when his hyper senses can't really handle the chemotherapy. So he's like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. Then he just goes and chucks his guts out. And he's like, I can't go back in there. And he's like furious. And then
Foggy, but he's got to back his mate up.
You hear Foggy whisper like, Matt, you're there. And then he's like angry. He's got like a distressed face. And then all of a sudden, each panel, he starts to smile, fix his tie. And he goes, I'm right here, buddy. And it's like, oh, that's so cool, man. They're best mates. In the show, he would say, fuck you, and then leave. Foggy would be like, if I didn't have cancer right now, I'd kick your ass.
Got him.
But yeah, hopefully a Daredevil video soon. That's the goal.
Nice. What are you going to be reading in the interim then? Just more Daredevil.
Oh yeah, I'm almost done with Mark Waid.
Ooh, nice.
Let's see. I'm on issue 30 now, so I'm about 6 away.
Ooh.
And then I start. Is it Chip Zdarsky next? Is he after?
Yeah. And that thing he nearly done, if I'm honest. He was only a few years ago.
That. I don't know if I'll read the Lecturer's Daredevil. I think I'd skip that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm almost done. Then I can move on to the next one.
Very nice.
Maybe I can finally read the X-Men omnibuses that I've spent too much money on. They're just on my desk. Or like Man of Steel books. I got the John Byrne stuff.
Ooh. Good thinking.
It's just there. I haven't been reading. I've been reading Daredevil.
Wait until you see John Byrne's Brainiac.
I'll stick to Lex Luthor forcing his secretary to sleep with him to keep her job. What are you going to be focusing on reading?
As I said, I'm reading like classic Batman stuff where he's fighting weirdos. Like the current dude wears sports equipment to kill.
I'm not worried, hockey pants.
They couldn't find any footprints to follow him after his latest murder because he was wearing ice skates.
Fucking hell, that's tragic.
And also Arkham tie-in stuff, like the Arkham Knight comics that were digital only, so them flying through them. I love them done by the way.
The ice skates are like when Iron Man had roller skates.
Oh, that was sick, mate. Before Iron Man was this techno god.
Yeah,
when he actually had to put in effort.
I think it was was it the circles on his hip that would turn into
discs. Yeah, mate. He used them to take down Doc Ock once as well.
I love when he's like, my suit's running out of power, and then he just unleashes the roller skates.
Yeah, because the spinning of the wheels like generated power, so he was charging up as he was skating home. Some of his best stories are because he's running out of power. That's why he crashes in Latveria and has to fight Dread Knight, because he's ran out of power halfway through his flight home.
Or like even in the Silver Age when he had to sit there awkwardly charging his body.
Yeah, sitting there plugged in, just waiting before phones, before anything, mate.
Oh, that'd be so boring. You just stare at the wall.
He must have like got through some books or something. Maybe he was reading classic Batman as he done it.
Look at all this. Jarvis, he's fighting 10 Eyes.
Look, Jarvis, he's got a butler too.
And he's British.
This is copyright infringement.
Oh, you see, Mr. Stark, he actually came out first.
But did Alfred? Wasn't Alfred later?
He was in the Golden Age, Alfred. He was fat. When was Alfred's first?
There we go. Batman 16.
1943. Bloody hell, he's an old man.
That might be a bit before Jarvis.
Just a tad. Jarvis was Tales of Suspense 60, I think, or 59 or something.
I hate that when I Google a comic character and it comes up the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
it says Jarvis first appeared in 2008.
I hate the fact that he was never really Jarvis.
Yeah, he was just the AI. Yeah. Or like I was looking for a PNG of the ghost, and all it was giving me was the girl.
The shitty movie one.
Yeah, I had to make my own.
It's so horrible.
Yeah, sitting there on paint, like green screening around the ghost.
I just use like a comic panel and just do a zoom effect and call it a day.
Piece of piss. I would, but
Every
I've
time?
I've dug my own grave. Every bloody, what's this? Every supervillain spotlight or showcase or whatever I've called it has like the similar, got the panels in the background and the character. So I've got to keep
It's just
it.
funny because my Spider-Man 2 review, where I had to make
get
it
the text
clearer
behind it.
and then get the text behind them, and it was
That was
annoying
wild,
because there
I
was
did that.
2 people, and that view, it's not even on 1,000 views, but me zooming in on Peter and Shay kissing got 44,000 views. It's like, okay then.
Extreme, mate.
It's like, okay, just zoom apparently. It's all you need.
I'll tell you what though, I liked that Spider-Man 2 review. I thought that was sick.
That took me an unhealthy amount of time to edit. Because in the software, I had all 4 hours of the gameplay, like just in one clip.
Yeah.
So it'd be in the footage section, but it was constantly trying to load 4 hours worth of a video,
Yeah,
and it was
chop around.
impossible to like see what I was doing. I'm surprised that video turned out as well as it did, because you could not understand what you were looking at.
Yeah, I try and stick to just the panels for that exact reason.
Yeah, it's like games and shows. It's like piss off.
Lovely. So next time,
like,
Dr. Octopus.
Oh yeah, Doc Ock, the mighty
The
Doc
man
Ock.
himself. How
Be
many
sure
fingers has he
to
got?
tune in. He's got
Like 3 on each arm, but then he'll have 5 on each of his real hands.
26. Would it be 26?
Nice.
How many does he have in his claws?
Depends. Has he got like the movie one has them 3 like the snappers? Sometimes he's got 4 on each end, doesn't he?
Oh,
like movie arc had 3.
So 360. He might have 22 fingers.
Ooh, let's find out next time.
That's why you join the panel, pal. Be sure to tune in next time, or else what? Or else you're gonna wake up and Skip Westcott is gonna be under your bed.
We'll send him personally.
And Micah Sin is gonna eat all of your food in your fridge
at once.
It's part of his diet. You see, it's a medical.
And had your wife around him, okay? Had your kids around Skip, and had your wife around Micah.
When you need help and you need a hero, Foggy Nelson as Daredevil's gonna come to save you.
Of course.
From Colin Farrell Bullseye.
Ooh.
Oh, J. Jonah Jameson reports on it. There we go.
Jonah's going to report on it. Hey, that's your bingo card.
We got all the panel pals essentials.
Just in time, too.
We didn't add an enemy to the list this time?
This time. Let's see what we can dig up for next.